Oh, sounds good. So just the communication spaces. Yeah, so pretty much at this point, yeah, our communication has grown vastly as a team, and the tools have been helpful. And yeah, at the same time, we've also I find that we come into some challenges of where it's like, wow, okay, almost communication becomes relevant. Of wow, this is so important to communicate our boundaries or our feelings, our needs, and sometimes we just forget that if we don't speak them, people don't know them, and we can't assume that they know what we need or how we feel. So I saw that as a great barrier, and breaking through that was quite the insight, because it was like, all right, we can, yeah, I can speak what I'm feeling from my heart, not attacking or judging, but truly being honest. And then when I speak through that honesty, and then just share that with other people and tell them where I'm at, it allows us to keep growing and connecting and finding agreement together, instead of just being assuming that, oh, I hope they know what I'm thinking. But yeah, so that was really big, something that just happened recently, like a week back, when we had an adventure together. And it's just, yeah, learning process to use the tools. And yeah, that's where I'm at with it right now.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so just been absorbing what you're giving me here. And okay, the last map we were at, we put, what was the assignment I gave you? You had to put the time cycles on in your own
Enneagram.
Yeah, it was pretty much the 9 keywords that were paths, tools, the resources, and then the other 9 that were like the time cycles.
Yep.
Our task was to put them together in a way that it made sense.
Right. And then at the very end, I told you where they were supposed to go?
No.
No.
Oh, I didn't. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to tell you where to go now.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Okay, so you've got your map in front of you, your Enneagram, and you've got the 9 time cycles on the map?
No.
I guess we have to, yeah, make it happen.
So if you right now draw an Enneagram.
Wait, I have one. Wait.
And then tell me when everyone's got a piece of paper and an Enneagram drawn. Then just let me know.
Or some guidance.
Yeah. Well, that's great that you've taken the map to that level. That's
Yeah.
As soon as you have things that can move, it changes again, because you put a layer on a layer. Right?
Yeah. Something that we did as well. Yeah, we each choose the spot that we felt called towards, and worked with the different numbers, like agreement, field, resources. Yeah,
so
they're also interesting.
There must be a bit of confusion. I know where you're going. Okay, how does this work?
Please bring us some light.
So we're gonna use this as a reference.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So does everyone have? I know the 3 has a map, but do you have a map in front of you, Diego?
Yeah, I was actually trying to make one, but yeah, I couldn't quite make it. Like
I'll give you, if you draw 9 points on a circle.
Okay. 1
through 9.
Okay.
Connect the 3, the 6, and the 9 together.
6, 7. Oh, I see. I'm missing up.
3, 6, 9 triangle.
And then connect 1 to 4.
Okay, so which one were the first 3 numbers again?
3, 6, and 9.
3, 6.
Like this, Diego, or
3, 6, and 9. Oh, I see. Yeah.
And then go from 1 to 4.
1 to 4.
4 to 2.
4 to 2.
2 to 8.
2 to 8.
8 to 5.
8 to 5.
5 to 7.
5 to 7.
And that's your Enneagram.
7 to 1.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's not as perfect as it could be, but I can see it in the rough sketch. Yeah.
Okay, and then you have to write at 1, write down field.
Field.
At 2, write resources. At
Courses.
3, write job.
Uh-huh.
At 4, write activities. At 5, write products. At 6, write relationships. At 7, write paths. At 8, write strategies. At 9, write agreements. And in the middle, write conversations.
I forgot about that.
Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to give the time cycles. Are you ready? At 1, write lifetime cycle.
What? One what?
1 is lifetime cycle. At 2 is yearly cycle. 3 is lunar cycle.
What that?
Lunar cycle. Lunar.
Lunar cycle. Okay.
Lunar cycle. 3. At 4 is daily cycle. So you've got your whole life at 1, then you're breaking it down to years at 2. The lunar cycle breaks down the year at 3, break down the lunar cycle at 4. But then there's a weird kind of switch point because we're not going complete time. At 5 is seasonal. So yeah.
I'm curious. Oh, first, could you guys mute your microphone again, please?
Yes.
So it doesn't keep cutting up. Nice, thank you. And when you were just talking about how they break down, I'm really curious. You were saying that you have, like, they break down in multiples from lifetime cycle 1, and then your cycle 2, and then lunar cycle 3.
And daily.
It's like,
it's like your lifetime is broken down into years. Your years are broken down into moons, and your moons are broken down into days, right?
Oh, yeah, I see that.
That's your long-term planning. And then at 5 is seasons, because seasons, everything changes, right? Winter, spring, and fall are very different. So 5 is the midpoint in between the long-term planning. And then at 6, you have hours. The hour cycle at 6. At 7, you have minutes. At 7, you have paths. 7, you have minutes.
Yeah, minutes, yeah.
And at 8, you have present moment. And then at 9, you have timelessness.
Oh, wow.
So from 6, you have hours broken down into minutes, and then the minutes isn't, you have the present moment, the now, but then there's a difference between the now, present moment, and timelessness. And that's where the now is now as we are right now, but timelessness is involved in sort of like there's no time, and you're now involving levels of consciousness. So the big difference between the 8 and the 9 is that the 8 is as we are now, but 9, if we meditated together or started to go outside of the construct, now we start going up in terms of levels of consciousness. So you've got all these cycles of time here, but in the timelessness is actually the center point, because there's another map called the time translator. I may as well show you that. Get another piece of paper and draw 9 circles like Russian dolls, like draw, draw 9 circles within each other.
Okay, I see. And the last one can be small at the end? Or?
Yeah, the center point is the smallest. Okay, so do you have the 9 circles?
Yeah.
Okay, now what you can do is yep. So on the outside circle, the biggest one is your lifetime cycle.
Wow, this is huge, Alaya. All right, I'm gonna look at lifetime cycle.
And then inside that is your yearly cycle.
Okay.
And then inside that is lunar cycle. And then inside that is daily cycle. And then there's a switch point, there's the seasonal cycle. And then you have the hourly cycle. Then the minute cycle. Then the present moment. And then in the center point, timelessness. So when you go to the center, it's like, I think in a lot of spiritual traditions, they say that, you know, levels of conscious change in a 90-degree direction, that's where you start going up. Like you have your sheet like this, you got the cycles timeless in the middle, but now you have levels of consciousness going up. So this is the first model that I've seen that puts together cycles of time with levels of consciousness. And that's one of the, whether discoveries or most important things, I think, at least that I discovered, is to give a conceptual model for the mind to put together time and levels of consciousness together. That's the big one. Because if you look at the 7 chakra system, or you look at power versus force, or you look at within the Buddhist or the Hindu traditions, they have levels of consciousness in some way. That's where you put it. So you can take that model of the 7 chakras and put it right in the center point. And now you're giving the mind the place of the chakras in connection to time, or no time. So that's a big.
Yeah, a bridge point.
So,
Nice.
one of the things about the inflow matrix in these maps is that we have different infographics. To, like, every map I show you can be the same thing, but it's portrayed differently in 2D, right? We're creating a multi-dimensional thinking system, but doing it a piece at a time. So we're doing it on these little maps that at some point it's like, bing.
Wow, just tap into them.
You're creating a knowledge structure. And again, as space is to the body, time is to the mind.
Wow.
We're giving the mind an actual model that brings in cycles of time, again, with levels of consciousness. Okay, and then what I did is I put those 9 on the Enneagram to give, now around the circle, if you put anything in the middle, let's say you're doing a business, or you're starting a farm, or you're starting a community, you can put anything in the middle, and then you can look at it from a yearly point of view. You can look at it from a lunar point of view. You can look at it from a daily point of view. You can look at it from a minute point of view. So when you're organizing your seasons for planting, when you're organizing, you know, the work you're doing during the day, this is just giving the mind a placement for how you're going to bring in all that knowledge that you have, or the knowledge that you need.
Okay, yeah.
So
next with the work we're doing.
I'll give you, are you okay? You're okay.
It's big download.
Is your head hurting or something? Or anyone want to give feedback?
I was just wondering for the name of the time circles.
Translator.
What, time translator?
Yeah, it's called the time translator. That the map with 9 concentric circles.
I see. Yeah. Oh, wow, okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to give you an exercise to do that's similar to the one that we did before, but we're going to create a flow map, which is the outer you, and you're going to do the same thing we did with the 5 spaces, but this time you're going to do it with 10 values. You're going to choose 10 values, and then you can either place them on the time cycles and the words, or you can turn them over and then do it through divination like we did with the 5 spaces.
I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just still thinking about the, okay, I guess we can move to the new, but yeah, wow, just about the past, when I was looking at the different time cycles, and then you were saying we can pretty much put anything in the center of the Enneagram with the time cycles, and that will give us perspective on how to work on it in the different times.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. That's just like, okay, it's a big idea, but okay, I'll work with it.
Well, it's just it's kind of like if you're looking at whether you're building a house or you're conceiving a baby or you're anything, right? You can just put it in the middle of that and then look at it from, okay, well, from a year, so what you're saying is from a year point of view, now you're looking at what are all the resources we need over a period of years for that to occur. But then if you're looking at from a minute point of view, you're looking at from what path do we have to walk down? What do we have to, where are we going to go? If you're looking from the day point of view, you're looking at the activities that you're doing. If you're looking from the seasonal point of view, you're looking at what products are we going to create. If you're looking from the hour point of view, you're looking at what relationships are we involved with here. And from the present moment, what strategies do we use right now to deal with whatever we're doing? At timelessness, we're going, well, what agreements did we make that are always going on that we have to adhere to? And then from a lifetime point of view, what's the field like? The field at lifetime is a bit of a strange one because we're in a field right now, and it can be we're in a field together for an hour or so. So every word can actually fit at every time cycle.
I see. Yeah.
But what we're doing is we're creating it a bit arbitrary, and I'm looking at the field of you as a spiritual being, that you have multiple bodies. You have a physical body, you have an emotional body, you have a mental body, you have a spiritual body, and all of that is your field. And so what I sense is our spiritual progress is that we are programming our field with these values. Like we are here to learn love. We are here to learn courage. We are here to learn all of the higher principles or values that all the spiritual traditions talk about. And what this is doing is it's kind of like a new methodology to program your field of energy with these values, that then the universe goes, okay, well, you want to learn them, you want to learn integrity, okay, we will give you the experience where you are see if integrity exists or not. Do you have integrity? Do they have integrity? You will realize the value of integrity when they don't keep their word. You will realize the value of cooperation, when things are going well because you're working together, but you'll realize, wow, if we don't cooperate, nothing's going to happen. So these values are the essence of why we're here and what we're here to learn. And our greatest lessons are connected to these values.
Okay, nice.
So what we're doing is we're putting order of time as the construct at the base of it, and then we're putting, a conceptual matrix of words, and then we're putting values to program that.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I see. So got it. Yeah.
So right now I can send. What's your email? Can somebody give me an email?
I can give you mine, but yeah, it's Diego. But maybe I don't know if Jorge wants to give his, because they're all together, so he can.
I'll give you my email. It's just my first name and last name @gmail.com.
Okay, Jorge, Jorge, and what's your last name?
Pedret.
Say that again.
Pedret.
Pedret.
Yeah, with a P. P for Peter.
P.
P for.
P is in Papa.
Pedret. Okay, @gmail. Okay, I'll send you a glossary of values because I have a card set of values that at some point you may want to get.
Okay.
And that's another one of the tools that you can use, because sometimes people, they just use the values deck to figure these things out, right? We're just sort of going.
Oh, okay.
I see.
Okay. I'll send you a glossary. It's about 100 values, so you can kind of choose from that. But I think it's also just ask yourself, what do I need to learn? Like maybe you have commitment, maybe you don't have cooperate. Like what is the value that you most want to learn? Because you may all be honest, and you don't really have to bring honesty in because all of you are always honest. but maybe you lack self-discipline, or maybe.
I was just writing that down.
So, I mean, the difficult thing is these maps really work, and to learn some of these lessons, you know, it's not always easy, right? I mean, you have to go through mistakes. You have to go through something going wrong to figure out, okay, well, I guess I have to be accountable, and I have to tell these people what I'm doing, because if I don't, you know, it's just not going to work. So
I see.
you're looking at right now, we're not creating a group value system yet. We're creating an individual value system. And each of you is going to choose your 10 values, put them on pieces of paper, and either choose to place them on each time cycle or do it by divination. And that's your assignment for next week.
I see.
So next week, I want you guys to tell me what you came up with, and then go from there.
So
And Diego, your friend can do this exercise if he'd like to do, because he's here. And
I will, clearly. Yeah. I try every day. I take paper and I do my own stuff like that. Yes. But I never had this idea. And yeah, the timelessness too is really I like that. I talk, you know, my life was a jam, music jam, all this stuff. Is you have to be in the timelessness, and the things happen. You hear the music, then you don't knew was in your head, and I believe in a lot of that.
Exactly. Thank you.
So yes. What's the assignment?
So the assignment is for you to create a flow wheel value system. So you're going to identify 10 values that you want to, that you either say, I have to have this. This is, you know, I have to have love. I have to have courage or boldness or whatever it is that you need, awareness. And, you know, take some time to really figure what those out are, and then do the same process that we did before with the 5 spaces, where you put them on pieces of paper and then you place them, and you can either consciously place them or you can turn them all over and do a divination, which is also pretty fun. But, and then you see, okay, I never would have thought of that, but this is what I have. So what we're doing is there's a universal time and language construct that I'm saying can design any job, any organization, and any community. And and this map you're making right now is that prime reference point. All the other maps are going to build upon this one.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Got it. So then take the 10 values and then put them in pieces of paper, and then put them with the time cycles.
Yeah. And then draw that map. And then next week, I want you to, or you can send them as soon as you get them. You can send them to me, and I'm going to make you a nice map.
I see.
And send me the 10 values at the 10 spots with a background image that you want to have as the background. And then what you can print out a really nice 11 by 17 map. That's your nice flow map.
Nice.
This is something, if you get the computer program Illustrator, I can send you the PDFs for it. And then when you're working with your customers and you take them through the same process, then you can make maps for them. And this is another sort of revenue stream or way of making money with the people you're working with.
So one image to put in the background. Okay.
Yeah, like whatever beautiful, could be you, could be whatever you want as the background, and then this map goes sort of on top of it. It's a very nice, beautiful thing.
Nice. Okay.
Sounds good. We're here receiving it.
Okay. So we come to the end of today's session. Went over by a bit, but that's okay. But really good to see you guys, and I'm glad you're still on board. And I think this is another big step, right? Another big step.
Thank you, Elijah.
Thank you, Elijah, for giving
forward.
work. And
great to see you guys.
see you next week.
Okay.
See you.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Sounds